What's going on, everyone? It's Adam McCraig with Grandstand Golf. This is our DFS picks and sleeper show for the 2021 Austrian Golf Open. We haven't had a European Tour event for a while, so it's nice to be back.
Yeah, I mean, unless you count the Masters as a European Tour event, then we just had a big one last week.
It's iffy. It's iffy. We're back to continental Europe, though, after a little while in the Middle East. So Austrian Open, quick back.
And don't forget Kenya. Don't forget Kenya.
And Kenya. Yeah, that's right. It is the only European Tour stop in Austria. It was European Tour 1990-96, went down to the Challenge Tour 97 to 2005, and since 2006, it has been a European Tour event again, but kind of different sponsors, and we didn't have a tournament in 2019, and then 2020 came together after COVID as kind of a combined European Tour, Challenge Tour.
First event back after the break, I think.
Yeah, so it's been kind of all over the place. But one kind of cool fact is that it is the first professional tournament to institute a shot clock for the players.
Yeah, now I don't think they have that anymore, if I'm not mistaken. But man, just the possibility of like making buzzer beaters and stuff, like golf needs that. That'd be cool.
I don't think it's quite like that, but I like where your head's at. Previous winners, we got Mark Warren, some notables: Dylan Fratelli in 2017, Chris Wood in 2015. But yeah. Looking at the course, Craig, we're at Diamond Country Club. It is located 35 kilometers west of Vienna. Atzenbrugg, I want to say, but I might have butchered that.
Atzenbrugg?
I don't know.
Atzenbrugg.
It has been the host of the Austrian Golf Open since 2010, so we do have quite a bit of information from that. Par 72, 7,400 yards, 6,800 meters.
Relatively
as you can
long,
see there.
Yeah.
Relatively long, yeah. As you can see there, I think there's a little bit of a couple island greens, increased importance on accuracy, greens and regulation. That's kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, also looks like it's fairly wide open in terms of, if conditions do come up.
Now, speaking of
which
conditions,
is the natural segue.
Yeah, speaking of the weather, it is crazy there. So European Tour, on their Twitter, if you didn't see it, they had like snow or frost or something a week ago. Click on, some European Tour guys' Instagram. So it's kind of crazy conditions, and it doesn't look like it's going to warm up anytime soon. So this is obviously in Celsius. We're Canadian. We're going for the Celsius crowd.
We're European Tour now, so we get to go into the language we understand.
Yeah. Highs of 9, highs of 10. Cloudy, showers. We got some wind. It's just going to be like.
Yeah, well, and the lows, like 0 degrees is a low on Wednesday. Like, we're potentially looking at frost delays, which, I mean, that's what I'm looking at if I want to go play golf where I am. So
I was going to say, it's warmer where I'm right now, and courses aren't open. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And it looks like also, cold and wet, really, and potentially windy. So it'll be interesting.
Get some grinders. Yeah. It'll get some grinders. It should be good TV. Moving into European Tour, we're gonna have 2 picks each, 2 sleepers each. Our sleepers are under 8,000. Craig, should we jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. My first pick is Martin Kaymer, 9,900 on DraftKings. He is 6th there. So Kaymer, I feel like is just going to go a little bit overlooked in a potentially a little bit weaker field than he should. I don't think he should go overlooked. So looking at his strokes gained approach, right, I think is the most important stat this week. I think he is kind of the class of the field. If we look back 2 years of data, he is first in the field at 0.62 in strokes gained approach. As we just narrow that down to 12 months, the last 12 months, he drops down to 3rd. And if we go to 6 months, he drops down to 5th. So he's clearly a little bit out of form. Mm-hmm. We know that. We know he's kind of out of form right now. But I feel like this is the time to kind of hop back on for someone that really, I think, should be a good fit for the course. Also, someone that, wants to kind of maybe scrap into some Ryder Cup teams, Olympics.
Yeah, now correct me if I'm wrong. Those are from Data Golf, correct?
Yes.
So those numbers are modified because, they make it so that all the tours are the same. So those are a little bit different than you would see on the European Tour site.
For sure. Absolutely. That's a good point. He has played the Austrian Open once, 2007, different course, miscut. Don't really put any weight in that at all. I just think he's going to have a little bit less ownership. I think he came over for the Honda Classic, if I'm not mistaken, one of those PGA Tour events, missed the cut, didn't play well. I'm going to go right back in. I feel like his approach play is the class of the field. When it is on, I feel like it's a big year for him. I think he's going to be trying to battle back and get it on.
You're buying the dip.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, I'm going the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm going to the younger end. I'm looking at Sam Horsfield. He comes in 10,600, 3rd on DraftKings. So if you don't know, he had a back injury in the later half of 2020. I think he said at Cyprus. and then he did continue to play, playing through injury in the latter half of the year. But then he hadn't played until the Kenya swing, and he played in both events down there. Top tens at both, including a tie for third. And his strokes gained so far, he's fourth on the European Tour. These are not the modified numbers, so this is the pure European Tour numbers. 2.88 through 8 rounds, so that's pretty darn good, I'd say. But if you don't know much about him, he's a longer hitter. He gives himself lots of scoring opportunities. So even if he is not the highest finisher, I think he's one of these guys that is going to overperform his score in terms of DraftKings points. His driving distance, so these are all 2020 numbers just because it's such a small sample size. His numbers this year are good, but it's such a small sample size that I wanted to use the larger, more representative potentially numbers. But this does then also include time in which he was injured. So take it all into account. He hits the ball a long ways, 316 yards, 13th on the European Tour. He gets a lot of greens under regulation, almost 1 per round, that's 7th, which translates into a lot of eagles. He has 0.2 per round, which is 7th as well, but he makes a lot of birdies, 4.14 per round, 23rd on the European Tour. Last thing, he's a proven winner, 2 wins in the first 4 events back from the after the post-COVID, he won 2 of the first 4 events. I think his short-term form is good. I think he is, he's a young up-and-coming player. I think he's going to use weaker fields like this to kind of establish himself to get into the tournaments he wants to get into.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think if you want to spend up, he's a good option for sure.
Yeah.
My second pick, I'm going Matthias Schwab. Right up here, I'm trying to point at the pricing. Where's the pricing? Right up here. That is wrong. He's not 8,100. He is 9,700, but he is 7th. He is 7th on DraftKings, 9,700. Austrian guy, Austrian Open. It's a hometown thing. Is there more pressure? I don't know, but I think he can get it done here. He's had a solid start to 2021, 6 events, 6 made cuts, 2 top 10s. So he has kind of popped for those top 10s. He has played here 6 times before, 5 made cuts, 2 top 20s. Last time he played here, though, it was 2018. He was 326th in the world coming into that tournament. Now he's 111. So he has really good history at this course when he was kind of making strides as a European Tour member. Now he's kind of one of the elites, especially in this field. He's one of the elite players in this field. Looking at kind of the 2020 European Tour rank. So this is 2021. He is 20th in strokes gained approach at 0.90. Love that stat here. Love that stat. And I'm looking at driving accuracy a little bit. He's 26 in driving accuracy at 55%. I think it's a good fit. Obviously, the Austrian Open, Austrian guy. I feel like there's a little bit of a narrative Comfort factor for sure. He probably played in these conditions. Same with a German Kaymer.
I think he's also just an ascendant player that we're going to see good results of. So it's just a matter of if this is the right time, then it'll work out.
Yeah, exactly.
My next one, I'm going with a bit more of a vet this time. Joost Luiten, 9,200 on DraftKings. He's ranked 10th. So there's a couple things to this one for me. Long-term form, again, looking at data golf that incorporates different tours and whatnot. He's 5th in the field in strokes gained total over the past 2 years. And then the very, very short-term form, he's coming off a tie for 7th at the Kenya Savannah Classic. That's the 2nd event they played down in Kenya. The mid-term form, there's a bunch of middling results. He has made a lot of cuts, but he doesn't have a ton of high finishes. Since the COVID break, he's sort of had a lot of made cuts, but then finishing 40th, 30th, 50th in that range. But the thing that pushes it over the edge for me here, his course history here is awesome. He's got 7 starts, all of them are top 20s. 5 of 7 are top 10s. Including a win in 2013, a 3rd in 2011, and a 3rd in 2014. So, with him having a top 10 last week, going to a course that he has a ton of good mojo at, I just think that it sort of sets up to be another strong finish here for Joost.
Yeah, I mean, him at Diamond is kind of like Spieth at Augusta, right? They're horses are courses.
I mean, if it were me, I'd rather be Augusta that I played well at than Diamond, but,
hey,
take what you can get.
Bank here. He'll make his bank here. Okay, let's drop into our sleepers. As we said, these are under 8,000 on DraftKings. We've got 2 each. I'm going Nino Bertasio, the Italian, 7,600 here on DraftKings, 29th ranked there. I just feel like he's in really good form. So comes in with 3 straight top 20s on the European Tour. I think that's really good. It's not in any different tours. Obviously, that was in Africa as well for the Kenya Open.
So is that okay? So the 2 Kenya and the Qatar event,
and then
or Qatar.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then he had 3. He does have 3 appearances here prior: 19th in 2016, 10th in 2017, and then a withdrawal in 2018. I couldn't get much for, but I mean, 3 years ago, I'm going to give that a pass. That's fine. He has 2 top 20s in kind of his 2 appearances here. And then kind of looking at those important stats that I was looking at earlier, 2021 European Tour ranks. Again, he does have 3 starts, so there's a good amount of data here. 19th strokes gained approach at 0.97, 71st in putting at 0.33, and 45th strokes gained total at 1.11. As we kind of talked about, that is the entire European Tour. That includes things like the European Tour guys going to the Masters, WGC. So that's not everyone in the field. That's the entire European Tour stats that we have there.
Yeah, you have to like that approach stat for sure. Yeah, I like it. I don't know much about him, but it seems like a good play.
We're going to find out.
We'll find out. I'm going with one of my favorites here, Ondrej Lieser. He's 7,600, 35th on DraftKings. So he was, coming off. So this was his debut as a European Tour member. So he was. He has played in some co-sponsored European Tour and Challenge Tour events, but yes. This is in his debut in Kenya. He was tied for 33rd and tied for 30th in the 2 starts there. But really, you look back to the end of 2020, he had tons of momentum. He had back-to-back wins to end the year, including the Challenge Tour Grand Final. And he had 7 straight top 15s to end 2020, including some that were co-sanctioned events. So I think his form is awesome. I think we're still trying to figure out where exactly he belongs as a full-time European Tour member. But to me, 33rd and 30th are promising starts. He hasn't missed a cut since 2018. Yes,
it's absurd.
He has been on a variety of lower level tours in that time, but it includes European Tour starts, Challenge Tour starts, and Pro Golf Tour starts. I'm thinking watch out Tiger Woods. Like the cut streak is in danger. I think that's really the story everyone should be talking about.
Yeah, and I love that's his actual bag he plays with in tournaments. I'm pretty sure that's how he rolls. With the weather.
He's an innovator.
He might need to protect it a little bit from the elements, but I'm not sure.
I'm hoping there's a rain cover. If there's not a rain cover, then maybe look elsewhere.
He's an interesting guy. He's gonna find his way on my rosters for sure.
Yeah, I think he's a very consistent player from everything I've found.
For sure. So my second sleeper, my last sleeper here is Ashley Chester, 6,700 on DraftKings. He's 72nd there. I was doing all this research a couple days ago, really doing independent research, trying to find, some hidden gems in this field for everybody. I found Ashley Chester, so I was really excited. And then, we haven't been able to put out the video quite as early as we wanted. And here we go. Ben Colley started talking about him. And then Tron on No Laying Up was talking about him. So now I'm worried that he might be kind of like a 6K chalk out of nowhere. So Ashley Chester's, I'll tell you why I like him. But now as kind of a very low ownership guy, I'm not sure anymore if his ownership's going to stay that low. But why do I like him? So he comes in with 3 straight made cuts, including T14 at the Kenya Savannah Classic. He has 2 appearances here before. He is 28th in 2017 and 7th in 2019. And then just kind of his stats kind of fit the profile I'm looking for. 18th in driving accuracy, 57%, 63rd in strokes gained approach at 0.42, and 35th in strokes gained putting at 0.66. So we'll see how his ownership comes, but I still feel like it's kind of underpriced for how he's been playing lately. Yeah,
it's a little worrisome because Ben Colley, I think, moves the needle when it comes to European Tour touting. So, I mean, sure. If that's the case, also it means it's probably a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
My last one here. I'm going with the guy that was runner-up to Ondrej Lieser in the Grand Tour final. Alexander Knappe. I like it. He is 7,100, 54th on DraftKings. So, like I say, he was a runner-up at the end of 2020. He has 5 straight cuts made in European Tour events. So this is not 5 most recent tournaments he's played in. But if you go through and you look at either European Tour solo or co-sanctioned events, he's got 5 straight cuts made. He was tied for 3rd at a European Tour event in 2020. I think it was the bank event, if that sounds
Okay.
right. But then the thing to, maybe pump the brakes on a bit, he's got no events yet in 2021. So maybe it's a little bit more risky business playing him, but I'm going to take a shot with him. I think he is potentially, somewhat of a diamond in the rough at 7,100, but we will see.
Yeah, I like it. Good find. Yeah, we will see. I like it a lot. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up. Good luck this week.
Yep. Good luck, guys. We appreciate it. See you next time.
Yeah.